Bonaparte, Emperor of France.
What?
Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, Emperador de Francia. Okay, Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of France, was trying to conquer Europe. So he had a big army, many men. The British army fought them all the time, fought them. So this television show is about the British army fighting the French under Napoleon Bonaparte. So they're getting ready for a battle. Okay? The French army is coming to attack, and there's many of them. These British soldiers are getting ready to fight. And there's only a few. There's only a few British and a whole lot of French. So their officer tells them he wants them to fire a volley. Now, a volley is where all the soldiers shoot at the same time. All of them shoot at the same time. That is a volley. A round is a bullet or a shot. Bullet. So he's going to refer to volleys and rounds. Okay? They're getting ready for a big battle. Okay? Big battle against the French. This is during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte. So now, listen carefully. Oh, and the words will be here in English too, so you can read as you listen, which is kind of nice.
But if you don't run, if you stand until you can smell the garlic, and fire volley after volley, 3 rounds a minute, then they slow down, they stop, and then they run away. All you've got to do is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute.
3 rounds.
Now you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand?
Let's do it again.
Stand. Where is the stand?
But if you don't run,
Stand.
if you stand until you can smell the garlic, and fire volley after volley, 3 rounds a minute, then they slow down, they stop, and then they run away. All you've got to do is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute. Now you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand?
3 rounds a minute, so it means three times in a
I
minute.
don't know.
3 times you have to shoot your gun in
discharge.
1 minute.
But I don't know understand what is
Shoot 3 times in a minute.
This is,
wrong for 10 minutes. I don't understand that.
okay. 1 minute, each soldier has to shoot his rifle. That's a round. And when they all shoot at the same time, that's a volley. But remember, this is 200 years ago. They didn't have guns like we have. Bah, 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 bah. They fired once, then put in a bullet, put in the powder, bullet, this, take a rod, pack it in, put the rod back, pull back the hammer, put in more gunpowder. That's 2 rounds. Now I got to do it again. Pull out the rod, put in the powder, put in the bullet, take the rod, pack it, put the rod back, pull back the hammer, put in gunpowder. 3 rounds. They didn't have guns like we do today that shoot pa 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 pa. They can shoot once, and then it takes a long time to get the other bullet ready or the round ready. So 3 times in 1 minute, it's pretty fast, really. Especially when they're shooting at you. You know? The enemy's shooting at you too. They've got guns. So, this is from the television show Richard Sharp in Britain. It's not in the United States yet, but it's very popular in Great Britain. Okay? It's just a regular television show, comes on every week. So he's in the middle of a conversation. Soldiers getting ready for a battle against the French. The French army is big. It's a lot of people, a lot of soldiers, a lot of enemy coming to attack. So these guys are scared. They're afraid. Okay? So their officer, Richard Sharp, has to tell them, I need you to stand and shoot your gun 3 times every minute. And if you can all stand and do that, they'll stop. And then they'll run away. So you can beat them if you do this. You gotta be, you have courage. You gotta be brave. So he says, he's in the middle of a conversation. If you don't run, where's my mark? What I say about the N and the T, the N is strong, the T is weak. So if you don't run, T doesn't even sound. If you don't run, if you stand, stand. Until you can smell the garlic, ajo, garlic, because the French eat a lot of garlic. So if you can smell it, that means the French are close. So you wait until they get close, and then you shoot them. So if you stand until you can smell the garlic and fire volley after volley 3 times. Every soldier, when he fires his gun, that's called a volley. Okay? He wants them to fire 3 rounds or 3 shots or 3 volleys. Here we go. 3 rounds a minute. Every minute. Bring that up. Bring it up. Okay? And what's going to happen if, according to him, if they all stand and shoot 3 times a minute, every minute? Well, then they, the enemy, slow down. Slow. They stop. So they charging at you, shooting at you, but if you fire 3 rounds a minute, they're going to slow down. They're not going to come as fast because they're getting killed. Eventually, they're going to stop, or they stop. And then they're going to turn and run away. So, all you've got to do is this. Is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute. Now you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. You and I know. We know. Okay? He could say right here, you and I, we know you can fire. You can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand? Can you stand? Do you have the courage to stand there and do it? To face the enemy who's shooting at you? Okay? Can you stand? Now let's watch it again. We only have a few minutes. 15.
But if you don't run, if you stand until you can smell the garlic, and fire volley after volley, 3 rounds a minute, then they slow down. They stop. And then they run away. All you've got to do is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute. Now, you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand?
Okay. You want to run that to the lower? I have some questions. Whoop. Back. Where are my questions?
What's the question?
Where are my questions? I thought we had questions here in front.
Can you just,
That's a question.
There we go.
we're supposed to have a question here, eh?
I thought we had some, yeah. Maybe we didn't save it. That's okay. I'll ask the questions. What is garlic? Yeah.
We can do it.
Today?
So he said, wait until you can smell the garlic. Wait until those French soldiers get so close, you can smell their breath. Because garlic has a strong smell. And the French eat a lot of garlic. British, they didn't eat garlic. What's a volley? What did I say a volley was? Yeah, when everybody,
Everybody
every soldier
shooting.
shoots at one time. All the soldiers. It's a lot of bullets at one time. What's a round? He said, I want you to fire 3 rounds a minute. What did that mean? What's a round?
Here we go.
3 rounds a minute. But
A round is a shot. Un disparo. Un disparo is a round. That's a round. It can also be a bullet. The bullet.
in the people, disparo a quien sea, digamos. No digamos cada round en español.
Yeah, we don't want to speak
It's
that.
not like around in the you know the
No, no, la
when
carrera
there's
Can you go down?
boxing match.
es como el boxeo entre dos nada más. O
No, that's
la gente toda.
yeah, that's a little different. Yeah.
O sea, digamos, yo contra usted
Rounds
contra
a
todos
minute.
nosotros.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a time period. A round in boxing is period of time.
But we can say 3
Periodo.
charges, 3 charges a minute,
Sí, sí, yo entiendo, pero yo creo que es
3 times shooting.
3 times, you don't say charge.
o solo uno.
Okay.
Hay dos periodos.
But we
All
say
you got
that
to
in
do is stand and
Spanish.
fire 3 rounds a minute. Now you and I know you can fire. Okay, where are we? Where's our questions? 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand? Okay.
Como un duelo, digamos. Entre dos.
All right. I already asked about this. Can you smell the garlic? All right. Let's skip that. And what is a volley? I already asked that. It's where every soldier shoots at the same time. Shoots, fires his gun. Okay. What does it mean to fire a round? I already showed you, right? Okay. What does he mean at the last, can you stand? We know, you and I know, you can shoot your gun 3 times a minute. You can. I know you can. You know you can. We know you can. But can you stand? What does he mean by that? What did he mean by that question, Captain? Can you stand?
In Spanish?
No. This isn't a Spanish class.
También hice esa pregunta la semana pasada.
If they can still be there.
Okay. What do you think? What does he mean by can you stand?
he not die o que no va a morir o no sé.
Interesting, maybe. What do you think? Can you stand?
The can es maybe, es poder. Puedo estar, están.
Okay, what is to stand? What am I doing right now? I'm standing. Okay. And what if I was a soldier there and I had to fire 3 times a minute? And they're shooting at me, and there's a lot of them, and there's only a few of us. Many, few. I might not want to stand. I might want to run away. So he's asking them, can you stand here and do it? Or are you going to turn and run away? That's the question. Si usted tiene el coraje, quedarse de pie y dispara al enemigo cuando hay montones, o se va a correr, huir. That's the question. Can you stand? Do you have the courage? Do you have the courage?
We don't have too many synonyms in English, you know. Spanish should say aguantar.
O tener valor.
Yeah,
Soportar.
yeah.
That's Spanish.
Están.
Stand.
Well, in English, if he said that, he would say, can you take it?
Can you take it? Okay.
Okay?
Oh,
There's another
sí, no lo pensé.
Can you take it?
Can you take it? But can you stand? That's a little stronger.
Can you hold it?
Can you hold the line? There you
Can hold
go.
the line?
Remember the movie Gladiator?
Gladiator.
Where they're in the arena and the gladiators and the chariots are going around and they're getting shot with arrows. And he says, hold the line, hold the line. And then the chariot hits him, falls over. Remember Gladiator?
Gladiator.
You
We
never
got to do
saw-
some
I don't like
piece
the
of the
movie, sorry.
Gladiator sometime.
I don't like the movie.
Okay. She doesn't like the movie. Did you see Gladiator? The movie Gladiator?
La película Gladiador, que se la vio.
Nobody saw Gladiator? I can't believe it. I guess you and I are the only ones who saw it.
Gladiator.
Oh man, I've seen the movie probably 20 times.
Todo el tiempo la ven.
I
Yeah,
prefer
El
Avatar.
tipo que en Roma es.
I have Avatar. My son has.
Troya.
Yeah, we got that one too.
Or
Okay.
Eso no me gusta mucho.
So anyway, what he's asking them is, do you have the courage to stand and fight when there are many of them and only a few of you? Many, few. Those are 2 synonyms, right? 2 opposites.
Yeah, if you can stay there for a while.
Many against few. So there are many French soldiers and only a few British soldiers. So can those few British soldiers stand and take it?
I prefer run.
That's what he was afraid of. He was afraid they might run.
Yeah,
Any questions,
They don't
though?
need a they don't need a room today. So if you need a little more time, it's okay. Watch it again.
If you want to. We've got a few more minutes.
But if you don't run, if you stand until you can smell the garlic and fire volley after volley, 3 rounds a minute, and they slow down, they stop, and then they run away. All you've got to do is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute. Now you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand?
Now you and I know. Now you and I know. That's a good phrase to remember. Now you and I know something, something, something happened. You and I, we know that you can do it.
Están es como estás listo, como estás
Sí, no.
estás
¿Qué
listo.
quiere
But if
decir
you
con
don't
eso?
run,
Así que el médico que
if you stand until you can smell the garlic
yo entiendo
fire
que
volley after volley.
usted está listo,
3 rounds a
está
minute.
dispuesto.
No, lo que está diciendo es, o sea, lo que él quiere decir con están es, o sea, si él está disparando, pero hay muchos a su alrededor que le está y dándole, o sea, con disparos, si tiene el coraje y el valor de quedarse ahí, arriesgarse a morir o a vivir, pero
Si está dispuesto, si él está dispuesto.
si tiene el valor para aceptar,
Está dispuesto a
estoy en clase,
Está
tiene dos interpretaciones.
Ok, están, mantenerse de pie
Y mantenerse
durante la
ahí.
batalla
Sí,
sin
los huevos de estar ahí.
perder
dispuesto.
Bueno,
coraje.
depends, I think. It depends to my son life.
That's another word. If you got a ball to stand, to stay there.
Yeah, do you have the balls to do it?
Exacto, por decirlo vulgarmente.
Are you men or are you women?
Oh,
Man has balls.
I see what you say.
así está muy bueno.
Yeah. A soldier today facing battle would probably say something like that. He'd say to his men, "You guys got balls to stay here and fight?" Yeah. Today they would say that.
That was easier to explain.
Well, I didn't want to be crude, but yeah, I thought of the same thing. But once you said it, yeah, that's fine.
They stop. And then they run away. All you've got to do is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute. Now you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand?
Okay.
All right.
I think we whipped that horse enough. We whipped that horse enough. That's a
We hit the
saying.
house enough.
That's a saying